There are 33,000 caregivers currently employed in New Zealand. Between 12,000 and 20,000 more residents are projected to require aged residential care by 2026. This implies the demand for caregivers is expected to increase between 50% to 75% by 2026. As a result, in October 2022, the New Zealand government made certain modifications to their visa types and introduced accredited employer work visa. This visa allows accredited employers to recruit caregivers from all around the world. The best part of this visa is that it is a work to residency visa, which means you become a permanent resident in New Zealand after just 2 years. How amazing! Hello, my name is MJ and you are welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who are probably watching this beautiful mama for the very first time, thank you for watching and make sure you subscribe. To all of my old and returning subscribers, I love you. Let me just give you a brief detail about me. I'm a registered nurse from Nigeria. I'm currently practicing in the United Kingdom as a senior theater practitioner, and I'm also licensed to practice in the United States. On this channel, I get to share with you migration tips, career tips and fun vlogs on a weekly basis. If this sounds like the kind of content that you love to get updated on, kindly click the subscribe button and turn my notification bell on so you are the first to get notified when I drop a new hot content. Just to put a disclaimer there, I am not an immigration officer and I am not a recruiter. I did not recruit people. I did not hand people job. All I do is to surf the internet for reliable, useful, authentic information, simplify it to the simplest level and share it with you on this channel. That's the whole idea behind this channel. Please be very careful in the comment section. You'll see some activities. Some people will be dropping their WhatsApp number, claiming to be my helpline, claiming to be me. They are not me. I do not know them. I do not work with them. If you'd love to have a personal contact with me, at the end of this video, I'll leave my email address and contact information and you can reach me. Without wasting much of our time, let's get started. So quickly, let me give you a breakdown of what we'll be looking out into this content. So we'll be looking at how to become a caregiver in New Zealand. It's very funny how this topic came about. So I dropped a video on my TikTok. My TikTok is NurseMJ. I dropped a video about how to become a registered nurse in New Zealand. And I got a lot of comments like, MJ, you're always talking about nurses. What about we caregivers? What about healthcare assistants and support workers? So I promise, you know what, I'm gonna look into this and get to share it with you guys. So this is why we have this content. Do not think that if I don't respond to your comment, I'm not seeing it. I am seeing it. I am noting things down, and your question might just be my next content. So please do not be discouraged. Please keep engaging my content, keep sharing them, keep liking them, keep viewing. I love you. So we'll be looking at how to become a caregiver in New Zealand. What are the specific requirements, the job requirements? What are the person specifications, the experience, qualifications, certifications that is required of you from your employers? Trust me guys, you do not need to have a degree at all in healthcare, anything. You do not even need a background in healthcare to qualify for this pathway. But the specific requirement, the specific things, qualification or certifications that you need to go through this pathway, I'll be sharing it with you. I'll be sharing links to get these certifications with you. So we'll be looking at the average pay, how to get a job. I promise you this video is going to be your go-to video whenever you're ready to start this application, visa application, and the requirement. Guys, at the end of this video, I'll drop the links, the direct links to every article that I visited to come up with this information with you guys, so you can see it is real, it is authentic, it is a very valid information. And let us go right into the full details. I'll be reviewing this pathway with you in 3 parts, just to make it easy for you to flow with me, and for everything to sync and you can grasp all of the necessary information. So the step 1 is the general update about this visa. So the visa that we are really talking about in this video is the accredited employer work visa. And this visa, like I said earlier, was introduced, was modified in October. This update was shared, so let's say towards the end of last year, this was modified and introduced, published, and it's already, applications are already ongoing. So it's pretty new, it's a pretty new visa, and this is why I want you to take advantage of it now before it gets really casted. Just like the UK, when it all started, people were not believing it, and some people were really drawing back, and then when they realized that this thing is real, some other people are doing it, then they started coming up, and then the market was already so saturated, and the rest is history. So please, I want you to take advantage of this visa. It is pretty fresh, and there's a very high chance of you getting an employment. Okay, so it's called the accredited employer work visa. This visa allows an employer, for instance, if there's a particular role, let's say of course a support worker role that they've been looking at filling with a New Zealander but they couldn't get someone to fill, the appropriate candidate to fill that position, then they throw it out. They throw it out to other residents from different countries all around the world. They let their home office know that we are unable to fill this position with a New Zealander. We have gotten a candidate from outside and we need to sponsor them. So this visa type requires the employer to sponsor you, to help you settle in the country. So they need to be accredited to sponsor you, just like the UK. For those of you who are familiar with the UK, they need to be accredited to sponsor you, give you a visa sponsorship, and help you settle in the country. They also need to be paying you up to the median or minimum wage, which is around $29. Okay, so your salary, your pay might range from $27 to $29, which is one of the specific requirements under this visa type. The second is you can migrate to the country with your family. You can come with your dependent, okay, as far as they also meet up with the specific visa requirement. And then the third benefit of this visa type is it is a work to residency visa. With this visa type, you are given 3 years, but if you would like to become a permanent resident in that country within 2 years of residing in that country, if the employer is paying you up to the median wage, which is around $29 per hour, you can apply for the permanent residency visa that qualifies you to live in New Zealand permanently and opens you to all other amazing benefits of being a permanent resident. Another benefit of this visa type is you can study any kind of studying that is that will benefit your employer or benefit you. You're permitted to take it under this visa type. Now that's just the brief summary of this visa type. And like I said your employer needs to be accredited. For you to get a job under this visa, I said it earlier, you don't need a background in health. Yeah, but the things that you need, the things that your employers are expecting from you, will be getting right to it. This takes us to the step 2, which is getting a job and the employment requirements. Before you can apply for this visa, you need to have an employment offer. You need to have a job offer. As a caregiver, a healthcare assistant, a social care worker, you are expected to work with other care workers as part of a multidisciplinary team to provide optimal care to the patient. So it's really key for the employers that you have certain level of experience and commitment to this role, and they're also looking at certain certifications. And in this video, we'll be looking at certain certifications that will help boost your opportunity, boost your chances of getting these roles. These employers do not necessarily need you to have a degree. In fact, you do not need to have a background studying as a healthcare worker at all to take up this role, but you do need to have certain level of experience. Firstly, let's talk about the personal requirements. What is required of you to work as a caregiver in New Zealand? You need to be patient and compassionate. You need to be tolerant. You need to have a good listening and communication skills. You also need to be open-minded, be ready to learn and unlearn, and ready to take instructions. These are certain personal attributes that your employer will be looking at, and you need to infuse this in your application. Other useful experience that will really work for you, that will be beneficial in the process of applying for this role, the experience in taking care of the elderly, working in nursing homes, working in care homes, working in hospitals generally. I always tell people that even though you don't have any background as a healthcare worker, you can always work towards this. Okay, you can, once you make up your mind that you want to start this role, you can start working towards it. Your volunteer experiences count. So if you volunteer to work in a care home, or you volunteer in the hospital to work as a caregiver or as a healthcare assistant, these voluntary experiences, they count. Abroad, voluntary work is a big deal. Voluntary work is a thing, and employers love it when you can even show that though you did not study a healthcare work, but you have volunteered, you've been involved in voluntary work in hospitals as care assistant, assisting nurses, assisting doctors, assisting other healthcare workers in taking care of the patient. These are very useful experience that you can infuse into your application. Here are some requirements that can help to boost your application. Just like in the UK, I've had a lot of people who have no background at all in health, and they got senior healthcare assistant roles in the UK. This also applies to New Zealand. All they want to do is fill this position with individuals with the right mindset and passion for that role, which you can prove. As long as you can prove this to them, you are good to go. Here are certain requirements that can boost your chances. Of course, the market is large, the competition is high, and these certain requirements can help boost your chance of getting this role. This is a New Zealand certificate in health and well-being. I'm going to link the website to actually get these qualifications online. You can do it online. You can take these courses online from anywhere in the world at your own pace, at your own time, and you will get real certificates that you can attach to your application when you're applying for jobs. Okay, so New Zealand certificate in health and well-being level 2, New Zealand certificate in health and well-being level 3, which is health assistance, and this allows you to work in care homes and hospitals. Also take the New Zealand certificate in health and well-being support work. For support work, that's a level 3 to provide care in private homes. New Zealand certificate in health and well-being level 4, advanced care and support. There are also loads of trainings that you can take. You can take training in safety and infection control. You can take training in communication with patients and working as a healthcare assistant, the fundamental skills that you need. You can take trainings in safeguarding of your patient, safeguarding of the adults or the children. The first aid certificate, have a BLS training, that's a basic life support training. These can also help to boost your application. You also need to have a driver's license, which I did see some employers that this is not necessarily a very important one, but because some of these private homes you might need to, be a sole worker, that is, you probably be the only one visiting, paying the patient a visit, and so you need to have a driver's license. To be honest, having a driver's license, international driver's license from your country, will boost your chances of getting this role. So quickly, let me give you a list of websites where you can obtain some of these training certificates from, and they give you valid certificate that you can actually attach to your job application to boost your chances of getting the roles, even without any background in healthcare at all. You don't need it to take this training. You can take this training from anywhere in the world, take it online and take it at your own pace. One of the websites I do recommend for this kind of training is read.com. On read.com, you can narrow down your options to the list of certificates and qualifications that I have listed earlier, and you get certified. Read.com will also suggest to you some trainings that other healthcare assistants or caregivers like you have taken, and they recommend. And the second is Safety and Action. On Safety and Action, there are loads of safety courses for you to take as an healthcare assistant, and loads of other useful trainings that will boost your applications. The third is CPD Online College. With CPD Online College, you get, of course, with CPD you get valid hours that you can add to your years of experience or hours of experience during your application. The fourth is careerforce.org.nz. The fifth is futureskills.co.nz. Sixth is myskill.co.nz, calandra.ac.nz, healthcarenz.co.nz, training.co.nz, openpolytechnic.ac.nz, learningcloud.nz, allison.com. I've got a lot of recommendations for allison.com. A lot of care workers have come to the United Kingdom with trainings from allison.com. ignitecolleges.ac.nz. On this website, there are loads of trainings. Some are free, of course. Some are heavily discounted, and some you need to spend some few extra cash on, which is really good. I always encourage people to invest in themselves. Do this with the right mindset and start now. Don't dilly-dally about it. Start now, worry later. What are the sort of educational requirements that your employers are requesting for? The educational requirement is not exactly specific, but a secondary education will suffice. Emphasis on you having good grades in English, maths, and biology will really be a good addition to your application. What's the pay like? What's the pay like for caregivers? Caregivers, you can earn up to 79,000 New Zealand dollars. This is really based on your years of experience. For some people, they do have experience working as a caregiver, working as a care assistant. So it depends on your years of experience. On an entry level, you might be earning up to like $26 to $27 per hour, but with more years of experience, you can earn more, really more. It really depends on your years of experience, which you can indicate during your application. There are lots of websites where you can get a job. Because I really wanted this video to be compact and be filled with information that you can easily go to, that when you want to start your application, you just simply come to this video. It's going to be your go-to video. I wanted to share a list of websites with you rather than a list of hospitals that are currently recruiting. Okay, but over time I'll get to share a list of hospitals that are recruiting with you, and that's why it's important that you subscribe to this channel and turn my notification on so you don't miss out on that very key information. So here is a list of websites where you can get jobs from. You can check seek.co.nz, healthstaff.org, Kiwi Health Jobs, nz.indeed.com, triple-o.com, somewheredifferent.nz, nzjora.com, nzlinkedin.com, glassdoor.com, earthmedical.com, hihrgroup.com, totaljobs.com, careers.gov.nz, and nz.talent.com. On this website, there are lots of employers that are ready and willing to give you a visa sponsorship with your family all the way to New Zealand. Talk about the visa application and processing time. Really, the visa application, the processing time, it's about say 15 working days to 60 days. Okay, that's the average processing time, and this is dependent on a whole lot of factors. Once you get a job from your employer will invite you to apply for the accredited employer work visa, and to do this they need to give you a job offer, a job description, and your employment agreement, which is your contract. And then Immigration New Zealand will send you a direct link to apply for the accredited employer work visa. So your job offer comes first before the visa application. Using the link that is sent to you directly by Immigration New Zealand, you apply for this visa. The cost of applying for this visa is 750 New Zealand dollars. So once you apply, you pay the applicable fee. So what are the requirements that you need to provide to apply for this visa? You need your valid international passport. You need good character report, which is usually a police certificate or a DBS, a criminal check to be precise. You also need to provide your medical health report. You must have an offer of full-time work, which we already discussed, from your employer. You also need your English test requirement. Yes, for New Zealand, under the accredited employer work visa, you need to take English language test. But please do not panic. There are different types of English language tests that's allowed for this visa, and the most common one is IELTS, which is the International English Language Testing System. With IELTS, you only need to have an overall of 5. It doesn't, we know we have 4 sectors. We have listening, speaking, reading, and writing. It doesn't matter what you have in each one, as long as you have an overall of 5. Another reason why an English language test is required for this pathway is because it is remember that it is a work to permanent residency visa. So you need English language test. Okay, other language tests that you can also provide is TOEFL IBIT, which is a test of English as a foreign language internet-based test. In that also you need overall of 35. Let me just say, for your IELTS, you need IELTS general or academic. Those are the 2 that you can use. And also provide a person test of English academic, that's PTE academic, with an overall of 36 or more. With your TOEFL TOEFL, you only need an overall of 35 or more. Also with Cambridge English B2 First FCE, overall of 154 or more. With your OET PP, whether a paper-based test or a computer-based test, you only need grade C or more in all 4, because that one doesn't have an overall. However, there are 3 categories of people who do not need to provide an English language test. If you're a citizen or a resident in an English speaking country, you do not need to provide English language test. Or if you've put a recent application that you've provided English language, you do not need to provide English language test. Also, if you recently done a course that was fully taught in English language, you are qualified for a English language test waiver. And thirdly, if you are currently employed in a role in New Zealand and you've been in this role for close to 12 months now, where you completely communicate in English with your clients, you do not need to provide an English language test. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people are fixated on the UK, whereas there are a lot of amazing countries and even better countries than the UK, like New Zealand, Australia, that a lot of people are not paying attention to them. And I think it's high time we start paying attention to these countries, most especially because of the old red list that is delaying a lot of people's application. Instead of wasting your effort, your time, why not try New Zealand? Why not? And the best part of this is that you can also use some of the certifications that you have gotten from, for these applications in New Zealand. For instance, the healthcare certificates, they are applicable, they are useful. Okay, they are useful for you in this application. I also noticed that a lot of people are very scared. All these new pathways, they are not pathways that a lot of people tend to talk a lot about. People talk more about UK. So people are so used to UK, while they are missing out on amazing opportunities like this. So please take advantage of this opportunity. The moment you start, things get clearer. The first step is starting. I promise to get to share with you, direct links to employers, hospitals, nursing home, care homes that are recruiting overtime with you on this channel. But I need you to get started based on the information that I already provided to you in this video. Let me know in the comment section if you found this video useful. Feel free to drop in the comment section what kind of content you want me to put out, what kind of content would you love to see on this channel. I'm very, very open to suggestions from you guys, because we are all in this together. I'm doing this all for you, so there's no point creating a content that is not useful to my audience. So please feel free to drop your suggestion in the comment section. Please like the video, save this video and share with your colleagues. Get them to subscribe to this channel if you believe that this channel will be beneficial to them. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you're yet to subscribe, and have my notification bell turned on. Follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is proud_NosMJ, and on Twitter I'm proud_NosMJ. I'm also on Facebook as NosMJ and TikTok as NosMJ. If you would love to contact me personally, send an email to nosmj01@gmail.com for ads or collaboration, or maybe further updates or questions. For those of you who would love to have a paid one-on-one video or audio consultation or coaching session with me, only use the seller link in the description to get you started. I also help review CVs for registered nurses. Depending on whichever country you're going through, use the seller link to also access these products. We have come to the end of this video. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.